Today we are going to study the business model of Ping An and the way they seek at exclusifying this business model. First task we were to complete is describing the classical customer journey of a patient and comparing it with the Ping An customer journey. So this is what I will share, and my colleague will focus then on some particular touch points and way of exclusifying them. We represented a user journey. We selected to analyze Ping An's business model from a patient journey, so somebody who feels sick, not from the point of view of a practitioner, for example. This can be represented along a journey line. This is just an example of such a representation, but along that line, a patient feels sick. He will contact a healthcare practitioner to get an appointment. He would visit and see the practitioner, discuss, have some tests. Usually the practitioner will order some further tests to be completed by another practitioner. That can happen, and then there will be another meeting with the first practitioner to analyze the outcome of the analysis, and a further exchange, and for example, typically then a prescription. And this is not represented on this journey, but there will be a step for the patient of procuring the treatment, and also the steps of exchanging financial or administration things with his health insurance, or with third parties that ensures a contact with the health insurance. So this is another touch point that we did not represent on this journey. This is what I shared. Some of the pain points or touch points that can be redesigned is finding and arranging the interaction with the healthcare professionals. We can call them doctors. Get the treatments, manage the cost relating to all this process, and get an overall better health. What's the Ping An business model? It's embodied in some communication. So we did our research. They target one customer, the patient. They offer multiple product and services as a one-stop shop. So there is no, it's a seamless process for the patient. Yeah, how they present it: one-stop shop, seamless process, ecosystem with tools for the health assessment, offering some online consultations, offline treatments delivery, health monitoring among the products and services, and managing the health insurance, which is the starting point of Ping Health, who was an insurance company, and extended its services beyond simple payment, but also in the whole ecosystem. We selected 4 touch points for more detailed description. One touch point is about the doctor, finding a doctor, scheduling, consulting with a doctor. How can it be done? Managing the health costs. So this whole process of payments by whoever, getting the treatment solution, the drugs that are prescribed or maybe that are needed without prescription. And also another very important touch point is all the data that are exchanged between the patient and its environment that are key to achieve the business model of Ping An. Now I'll leave the floor to my colleague that will explain those 4 touch points we elected to describe, and explain also how one can seek exclusifying the outcome of the improvement of the touch points in Ping An's business model.
Yeah, thank you, Vincent. For the doctor's scheduling and appointment, to identify the digital custom touchpoint in the journey. As we may know that during our life, there are many disease, syndrome, or illness related to our body and our mental health also. We may confuse with some therapeutic terms such as pediatric, or dermatology, immunology, cardiology, or oncology, and so on. There's a question that when we got an illness, such as a stomach ache, what is the appropriate hospital or department in hospital should we visit? How can we find a fit doctor for the pain? With the Ping An platform, the patient will receive an expertise-based advice on the seeking appropriate specialist and hospital from the app installed in their phone. There will be a list of doctors for the target disease or illness. The platform also provides a closest hospital for their selection. So the patient can choose the doctor and hospital with their most convenient to schedule appointment. Can you move to the next slide, please? Now, for the scheduling appointment, the platform provides a portal for online scheduling or chat to schedule. The patient can conveniently schedule an appointment with fit doctor at the selected hospital. The appointment also adapt with the available time schedule of the doctor using the online scheduling function. This function can work very efficiently and automatically as same as we schedule a meeting using the Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar. Then the patient will receive an appointment confirmation and reminder via the app, notification, email, or SMS before visit the doctor. Can you move to the next slide, please? At the doctor visit, now the patient would be asked to fill out some paperwork. With the online platform, there's a portal to fill out the paperwork, so the patient can complete all the paperwork online before arriving to the hospital. This makes the registration procedure easier and no waiting time required. If the laboratory test conducted, the patient can also view the test result from their phone. Of course, it requires the patient will meet the doctor in person at the hospital for clinically direct checking. Then on the remain action as a picking up a prescription checkout, see the port appointment note, port treatment consultant can be completed online via app or phone call. Can you move to next slide? Then in the next development or with some simple inits, the patient can have the virtual doctor appointment or telehealth care without in-person meeting. The platform will provide the detailed instruction to do so, like this. Yeah, can you move to the next slide? Then the question is how IP support and protect the login effect. The IP asset can support and protect the login effect of the platform with the patterns such as the data processing methods and system. Request processing method and system, and so on. Now, for the design, it can be protected with the GUI or information form, and the data protection as the trade secret and copyright for the source code of the app, and finally is the trademark with such as the trademark is a ping an, mean peace in English. Yeah. My next colleagues will for the next part. Yeah.
So I will go briefly to the second part of the process, which is connected to the management of the health cost. And the main rationale of this is to enable people to pay for access to healthcare using financial services. And from a general point of view, this approach can be considered effective from two sides, on the customer side and on the provider side. And on the customer patient side, for instance, it can be considered the use of chatbots in order to deliver faster response to the quickly answered question. Furthermore, it can be used the speech recognition, for instance, to the payment only through the use of the voice. There can be a reduction in time spent in the time spent, and it can be very useful in order to identify and protect the relevant information. And from the provider side, obviously, this can make the access to the relevant information very much easier, and it can prevent pitfalls in the payment procedures, for example, due to hacking. And if you can move to the next slide, please. Thank you. And there are two instruments that can be used in order to manage the cost in a significant way. And first of all, in the identification of the ex-ante of the cost ex-ante. For instance, in order to provide cost is an estimation of the cost, which can help in order to identify the general cost of the treatment. And another point which is relevant is the possibility of having an electronic health record. And regarding this, an example is the so-called digital wallet. And it is very intuitive. It can be considered as a means for saving, and it can be used for both preventive and curative medicine. And to the next slide, please. Thanks. And how can IP support these aspects? Three elements can be considered relevant. patents, trade secrets, and trademarks. Regarding patents, the idea is that it is possible to protect the core innovation, and also patent publication can be cited against subsequentified application to prevent grant. Trade secret, of course, and finally trademarks, because obviously a strong brand can help a company to differentiate their products, and obviously to differentiate that from competitors. Thank you.
It is my part is already highlighted before. Part of the journey, or a kind of style journey, can be how to deal with the treatment and the drugs, and basically there are three main focus area. I have gave a look at basically the preservation, the continuous use, and new prescription or advanced management. Next, please. Preservation can, and for unhealthy people, can be a pain point, because once a medicine or prescription goes above its expiration dates, it can lose efficiency, or it can be even harmful, as this extract from the FDA Gov explain. And this is a problem mainly associated with healthy people, people that takes medicine for a cold or a flu. Whenever it happens, then take it there. Okay, next year I will get a cold again, and next year, and so it can be a problem, especially for healthy people that seldom take medicaments. Next, please. And there are some companies. Just a brief introduction. I moved a little bit away from Ping An as such, and then I will recollect with Ping An. There are some companies that are already moving into adding a digital layer, a communication layer with smartphone and apps. And again, they are using terms that are sounding what we have heard before: loyalty to the drug, pharmaceutical company, and loyalty between physician and user. So different target, different customer, adding a digital layer to medicine prescription. And so again, monitoring, increasing to therapy, authenticity, transparent supply chain, all of these can add that, and also an information on expiration can be easily added. So we are talking about a digital layer, and it will be even more clear in the next slide, please, to the packaging or the delivering media. This is something that is already there. Again, this is for insulin. So in this case, we are moving toward a continuous use. So people that need, so they are conscious. So in this case, the problem is not expiration, but accuracy in dosing, something that is similar to what we've seen in the example before, SmartTooth. And so constant use. But this is going also even further in the next slides, and going a little bit to even more digital. We are talking here about smart labels, so something that is put on the labels and count doses, and so really that really adds a digital function to something that is physical, is not digital. And here is a patent application, very recent. So here, for example, it can count the remaining amount of drug, depletion, so gives information on the residual amounts when you have to order, whatever. Next, please. And all of these can be integrated. There are also patent applications that understand when package has been tampered, open. So all of these may go into a single application, giving information, a kind of virtual medicine cabinet, what's there, how much is there, when it will lapse. It may also provide a direct link with the doctor, giving you prescription or giving you suggestion. If, for example, there is this app in which you can provide which are the drawbacks on even medicine, so you can communicate with the doctor without the need to initiate a journey to the doctor, new prescription, and an easier solution. And again, we recollect here with Ping An. Ping An is looking also into this because it makes a patent application on data processing method. So on how to process all of these. I would say, adding this digital layer to the packaging is probably the future. Is not there. The technology is developing. All the patent applications I mentioned are quite recent. So it, apart of the physical tech that from the pen, that's already real, but the other one are, let's say, in the prototype phase, and it has to be seen if they are really successful in order to really implement a successful digital layer, because there are terms of cost, production. Some of these labels use chemicals that are not so friendly. So there are a lot of question marks on the technical side, but that may be a real plus to integrate all of these and giving, again, as was mentioned, a digital layer to something that is physical and that says often just a waste, the package. And that's for my part.
Okay. So then I'll tell you about data, because that's kind of illustrated by what Vincent presented for Ping An in terms of the model, as well as the different touch points. All of them involve data, exchanges of data that is fragmented. It can come in different formats. Luca was talking about data information on expiration. We can also think about treatment, medical imaging, data that can be collected through wearables. They come from different providers. So really integrating this data that is fragmented is complex. Health data can also have different quality, especially things that people input themselves or that have been inputted by clinicians. They can be incomplete and they can have errors entrances. And obviously this will impact whatever you do with this data. And you can also have changes in output, and obviously because a lot of this health data, as well as the financial data, is private and personal information, there is always this important concern with data security. So all of these touch points or pain points kind of on how we can handle this data and use it to provide better healthcare solutions gives us opportunities to think about Ping An's model and how they can create locking effects. So if you can please change my slide, Vincent. And so this is what I'm presenting here. So there is different, mostly technological solutions that might be supporting the business model that might be worth protecting, so to create locking effects. For example, approaches that allow to improve data architectures that support easier integration. If you have a system that works well and that you can integrate different data sources, you will be encouraged to continue to use that system, because it's very hard to move all those data to somewhere else. Methods that allow you to QC, or embedded methods that tell you this data is not good and eventually allow you to input data, again, will encourage you to continue to use the method, because you likely have better inputs. And obviously in the context of data security solutions, this might provide opportunities to create systems that might be used more generally by the industry. And in terms of brand loyalty, this has been touched in the past, but basically the idea of protecting features that are creating this brand identity around these features that ease patient access to healthcare indicators, as well as ease healthcare providers' input of data and visualization, are things that potentially would be important to enforce and to protect. And if you go to my next slide, and so this takes us to our third task, which was really to describe a patent by Ping An. And actually this patent is actually addressing one of these problems. So how do you use healthcare data to make disease predictions. And if you move to my next slide, so the pattern that we had, the application that we had was really on a method to establish the disease probability for a given individual, and how to output it based on healthcare data. And if you go to the next slide, please, the method description gives you an idea of all of the different points that I was telling you in terms of integrating data. So you need to collect this data. You also potentially need to input missing data and filter for outliers, linking to this idea of QC. You need to create ability to create multidimensional data sets that then allow you to train AI models that allow you to predict disease probability, and that will enable you to direct your patient to the best healthcare solution. And with this, I think it's all we have to say. Thank you.